And now it is my pleasure to invite Justine Brisebois to the podium to introduce Carol. Justine?
Thank you, Esty. Hi, welcome. Before my mom comes up here, there's just a few people that she would like to thank. While she was writing Trip, she got some advice from Melissa Steele, a Manitoba author, and the Winnipeg Public Library writer-in-residence at the moment. And she also got some advice from Anita Dar, a Manitoba author, teacher, and editor. She says thank you to them both. My mom would also like to acknowledge her parents for being very patient proofreaders. She also says thank you for their generosity. My mother admires her sister Brenda's excellent organizational skills. She really knows how to throw a party, and there's a lot of work involved in that. My mom says thank you. One of McNally Robinson Bookstore's many gifts is its support of local and independent authors. Thank you to Tori McNally and John Haze, and to our host Esty for having us here today. Finally, my mom wants to thank all of you who have already read Trip. She appreciates the feedback, and you're helping her to see the story in new ways. One last thing, thank you so much to all of you for being here.
Thank you, Justine. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to have you here. I'm here because after I wrote Her Sparrow, some of you asked when I might write another novel, and since I didn't want to let you down, I wrote Trip. I wanted to give you something I thought you might be looking for, so in some ways the two novels mirror each other. One is about a mother who longs to reconnect with her dead son, and the other about a father doing all he can to reclaim a daughter taken from him. I wrote both stories hoping people would come to have compassion for their characters, but as I was writing, didn't think how that spoke to my inner life. Not until I was done and people gave me their impressions did things become more clear to me. Seems I've been compelled to write stories about parents in search of their lost children. No one wants to lose a child. That's the worst kind of pain. The child represents the future, having one's values passed down. You could say a child is a parent's portal to immortality. But the parent-child divide can also be understood in another way, as one person's strengths and frailties playing out in two separate roles and wanting to reunite, like a soul's journey, to recover its wholeness. So, with these thoughts in mind, here's the piece from Trip I chose to read for you. To set the stage, Haze is a dad trying to locate his daughter, Serenity. She's lost to him in a city where he's only a tourist. He's going door to door with a sketch of her in hand, showing it to everyone he can. And in his search, he meets an elderly woman who seems to have come straight out of a fairy tale. He believes she can help him, and her name is Bertice. Haze can't believe what he hears. He rights himself in the chair and leans toward the old woman. This little girl of yours, she causes trouble in the store. As he raises his eyebrows, his eyes bug out. The woman nods her head and smiles from one corner of her mouth. She creaks up out of her chair and totters toward the teapot shelf. I will fix up the tea and then tell you. Haze is a rocket about to take off, then told to abort his mission, but sees her story can't be rushed. He wills his heart to beat slower, accepts the chipped cup with two hands. Being served with kindness reminds him of a time when he belonged somewhere. The gingery taste of the tea, warming his throat, comforts him. The woman places a plate holding two buns smeared with jam in front of him. What is the name of this child? When Haze answers, Serenity, the old woman smiles, revealing her long brown teeth. This is a name God picked for her. Not everyone is so fortunate. I know this because God also chose mine. Bergdies, your name is? The old woman covers her mouth as she coughs and tries to catch her breath. No, don't say, I'm sure I know already, but it's been so long. We met once before on that deserted stretch of road where heart collides with courage. Haze looks at her with sad eyes. Never mind that, she says, clearing her throat. It is good, the bad things your little one does. The store? Haze wants to be there now. Bergdies says, the throwing merchandise to the floor. It sometimes reminds me of myself when I was a child. And when she makes her auntie drag her out the door, my heart warms inside. The woman's sighs make Haze also feel that he and this stranger were somehow connected before they met. Something other than drugs swims in his blood to create this premonition. The story feels real. With names of places I am not so good, but the store, it is just down the block and around the corner. Haze knows the place, has passed by it a few times now. He picks up his sketches and is pleased with the tear-shaped tea stain left behind on Serenity's cheek. I have to go now, but after I find my girl, I'll come back and we can spend some time together. He bows as though she were royalty. Thank you, and enjoy yourselves while you're here.
Well, thank you very much, Carol, and thank you, Justine. Thank you all for coming. Now is your chance to get your copy of Trip signed. So please come up here and do mingle afterwards and have something to eat and drink, and thanks again.